How are you getting on today, folks? How are you all doing? Welcome back to another video from Courtney Brothers. Today's video, kind of a different one, but I'm going to talk about the downsides to being a contractor in Ireland, in my experience. This is my 10th year working for myself and at the contractor work, agricultural contracting. We do digger work and all that crack, but my experience of the downsides of that's what we're going to talk about today. But I'll just give you a quick snippet. I'm not videoing the job I'm at as such here, but just we're taking down trees and I'm tidying up here at the moment. Abit trees taken down and sawing up and all that kind of work. But that's not what today's video is about. But I'm just going to clamp the camera here and I'll get going then. Right, so I'm going to be talking and driving here, so there might be a small bit of repeating going on because half my concentration is on the camera, the other half is on digging. But right, so I'm going to talk about the downsides to being an agricultural contractor in Ireland. And I suppose every country is going to vary, the work you're going to do and all that, conditions you're doing, maybe the people you're working for and the morale in the whole industry and that. But I suppose I started off in May 2016. I was 23 years old. I was just back from New Zealand and the opportunity came up. I have mentioned this briefly in other videos. Opportunity came up and I had the tractor bought before I even came home from New Zealand. Next thing, Baylor came along and there you go, we were contracted, myself and my brother Joe. But I suppose the downside is, one sec, I'll get this. Yeah, we're getting stone to this job here, so that was just your man ringing saying that he get another load this evening, so that's great. But yeah, so we started in 2016, all that, and I suppose the decision was, when we bought the baler and that, it was made pretty quickly because I knew that is exactly what I wanted to do. I wasn't all my life going around, or all my life until I was 23, going around saying, oh, I want to be a contractor, I want to be a contractor. The opportunity just came up and we went for it, and I think deep down I knew that is the road I was going to be going down. I've been working for contractors since I'm 14 years old, doing bits and pieces, rapping. I would have seen lads rapping in the field. I would have been on my bike, I would have cycled in, or I would have cycled on and I would have dropped the bike and went in, and if I got half a chance I'd be driving the tractor, doing a bit of rapping or drawing in a few bales or something. So that is, I always knew it's not like I was working in the trades and all that and then this contracting thing came along and I'm like, oh, machinery, yeah, I want to go to this. I just have been always driving since I could, and so the decision was very easy to make to go at it. Then Joe came on board and I was like, yeah, go for it. So the downside is, I suppose, when you're signing yourself up for it, first and foremost, your routine, if you're used to a routine, is gone completely out the window. You sign yourself over to the contract and to the people you're working for. The digger work I'm at here now, that's grand. I'm working, we're doing 8 to 5 steady hours, and that's fine this time of year. But the main downside to a lot of people, and I find getting people working for me as well in that, is routine. You sign yourself over, hours don't matter. You don't, there's no weekends off, there is no finishing on the clock or anything like that. You go, you get the work done, which personally I love that. For the summer I want to be working. If I was at home, if I finished work at 5 o'clock summer's evening, I would be completely restless. I'd have to go at something at home on the farm, or go for a spin, go do something, and preferably work related. Now I do notice myself, we'll say 10 years on, and becoming more settled down, that I do appreciate more those days that I can get off. If I can get a Sunday off during the summer, or if there's a Saturday wet or a chance, I do take it straight away and I do enjoy it. Where the first year or two I would have been just eager, stay going, but I do take advantage of them opportunities more. And probably, as lads have told me, the longer you do it and the older you get, the more you will do it. And like that, life has to come into it as well. Like down the line, if I have kids and that, your priorities change completely. But at the moment, I'm pretty much signed over to the contract, and I'm happy at that. But that is one big, for a lot of people, that is a downside, and that is really why it is getting harder to get drivers and people to commit to the contracting lifestyle. But so that's that side. And then I suppose you have the responsibilities of looking after machinery and working for quite a lot of people. The good days are good, but when things come on top of you, they can fairly pile up. I've noticed that, and I suppose we are slightly getting busier. We took big leaps as we went. We were bailing the first year, so we weren't doing a lot the first winter. I went straight away and bought a little digger, and that kind of ties up, but I was at nothing with it, like tipping around, trying to get a day or two here and there. But as things got busier, we kind of branched into more things, and everything was relatively quiet at the time. And really and truly, then the year we bought the turf hopper, that is really when things got serious and got hectic. And we bought more machine. We bought in second more that year. We were only after buying our 130 6 months before that, so the digger work was getting busier. Or maybe we had it a year before that, I forget. But no, we had it 6 months before that. That's it. So all of a sudden, I went from mad eager to go looking for work. Next thing, all these things are on top of you. And what I'm getting to here, this is downside: the weather. The weather is, I suppose, your own health is number one. Physical and mental health is number one. Yeah, that has to be good, and like, there's going to be times where it won't be. It's a stressful job. It'll get on top of you. But in majority speaking of the time, your physical and mental health needs to be right for the job, because it will get the better of you. The busiest days, again, the hectic days, your phone is ringing, and we'll say, I'm owner of the business, and I'm running it, and I'm working as well. So you need to be able to multitask a bit. You need to be able to be under pressure. You might have spanners in your hand, sweat running down your face, trying to change a bearing in a baler or something like that. And that is the day the phone will be hopping. And that's the nature of the game. And the first year or two, when something went wrong, I was more so worried about things going wrong. I used to be so anxious, like, oh, I'd hear a little tip in the baler. I was like, is that a roller going now? I was like, what am I going to do if a roller goes? I could genuinely be at home in bed thinking about there could be a busy day coming, busy spell coming, and I would be at home awake thinking about what if this goes, and there might be a noise. I noticed there might be something small. I'd be like, oh, that's going to go now. But what I noticed about me anyways was the fear of something happening was the worst of it, and that still does get me. That is definitely the worst. When something happens, something goes wrong, I actually find that kind of easy. Got a bit distracted there. I don't mean easy, but I almost find it relaxing fixing something. It's I'm trying to put it into words. Yeah, the fear of something going wrong is the worst, and is what I found all along. And it would stress you a bit in that. Now, of course, the busy heydays and all that, you do not want things going wrong. But the beauty about what I can do, and this is going to be part 2 of this video, the good side, the pros from it, but I can fix the machinery myself. 9 times out of 10, I will get it going myself. But get back on track, talking about the negative, the downside. So the fear of that, something going wrong, or the fear of rain and all that, when these things come and they happen, you face them, they're not as bad. If anyone else feels the same way about that, just mention in the comments. Maybe I'm the only one, maybe I'm programmed different. But that is most definitely what I find about it. The fear of things going wrong, an accident on the road, something like that. Touch wood, we have had no accidents on the road or anything like that. Touch wood. So I suppose relatively the run we've had has been quite lucky. I suppose I'll try to think off the top of my head, what is the most stressful day that I have had. I paused for a second there because I suppose I'm doing this video off the top of my head. I have not taken notes or anything, and it's nearly a video I should have had topics. It's on my mind for a while to do these videos, so I maybe should have just topics just noted for it. But anyways, I do every video off the top of my head. So the most stressful day I've had that I can think offhand was the day I bought the Trail Malone mowers, 2019. We were kind of all went wrong within a day. Within a day or 2 days. It was the first year we bought the hopper. A driver came with me from that used to be on the hopper. He came for the first season, and we had 2 weeks of rain where we were parked up. Next thing, the silage started to get going. So that day I found out that he had left the country and was not coming back, and I knew nothing about it. So panic stations, because I had all of a sudden we were behind the turf. It was around the 20th of June. Silage was in full swing, weather was bad. I had bought that new Malone Trail mower, made the decision on that, which I'll get to in later on this video about buying the machinery. I bought that. That can be, I find that a bit stressful, but I'll get to that later on. And I was bailing away, the rain was coming, and next thing I had the 661 Dites, the 94 one, the one we still have on the baler. Next thing, bang, 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 coming from the engine, and I said, oh no. And I said, damn, I was just, I remember putting my hands down on, my head down on my hands like that, and just going like, no, I was just like, it really got to me that time. But anyways, that was probably the worst part of it. I was fully sure the engine was gone. I got out and I seen the fan belts loose and the front pulley hanging, and I said, this tractor's after breaking the crankshaft. And got out, went looking around, and about an hour and a half later, if I had tools with me, about an hour and a half later, I had the tractor fixed, diagnosed and fixed. Temporary fix to get it back to the yard, bear in mind. What happened was the crankshaft pulley came loose, But I remember I was going Dial Malone's to cancel the new mower. I was like, I'm going to have to go and buy a tractor or get an engine. And I was like, I need a tractor in now, straight away. I was like, I just have to go and buy a tractor. And it was the year we bought the hopper. We were realistically under financial pressure. Well, having to go and buy a tractor was definitely going to put us under financial pressure. But crankshaft pulley came loose and I had it going again about an hour and a half later. And Aidan came over that year on the hopper. The day later, everything had resolved itself. New mower came. Aidan went on the hopper. We had a digger driver as well in the bog because I had to stay bailing, and everything was just rosy. But sometimes things just the sky can fall down around you. Just a couple of things go wrong. It might be one phone call you get. You could be bailing, something will go wrong. You might be working for someone and they're not happy with what's going on, maybe weather, stuff like that. The sky can fall down around you quick enough. But what I do notice is it usually doesn't last long. Now, so I'm back in the shed to do this part of the video. It's kind of machinery related. So I said I'd wait till I'm back and do this here. But I suppose another stress factor is machinery. And it's in different ways. I suppose the downside is making decisions. You have to make the right decisions when it comes to machinery. Buying from day one and making the right decisions to when to change it, what to buy, how much to spend, because it's very easy to get caught up with just over financing yourself, basically. There's a lot of different factors, a lot of moving parts. Of course, you want to buy the best machinery you can, but there's also a fine line of taking on too much and being financially under pressure, which is not a nice feeling. We haven't been hugely financially under pressure when it comes to machinery. We have had a lot of finance. We do at the moment. We have 6 or 7 different things on finance at the moment. That being one of them. The new Fint being the biggest one. I might do a video on that again, going through finance, what we have on finance, and a bit of our experience with dealing with finance companies and finance machinery and that. But I find buying machinery very stressful. It's great, like it's exciting going off buying something, but it can occupy an awful lot of your mental energy, because you'll be thinking to buy the right thing. Again, do I buy new? Do I buy second-hand? That's all going around in the head, And it's just to do the right thing. And if you don't, it can lead a chain reaction of like just stressful times, expensive times. And you running an agricultural contracting business in Ireland is tricky financially, because your cash flow, the time of the year, there's a lot out of your control, like with bad weather. You might lose work, someone new might start beside you, you have a hit finance, out on machinery, a lot of bills to pay, and you just need to try get it right and put a bit of thought into it, and don't be going buying stuff with on your gut, just making these rash decisions on the day of a show that I need to buy this. You need to have a bit of a plan in place. A lot of things fall into place or may not fall into place after that. There's a lot of things out of your control in that, but you need to make the right decisions and have your machinery right. Even with the baler this year, I suppose, as well, I changed it last minute decision. but I had a lot of thought put into that with the last 2 years when I was going to do it. And originally I hadn't expected to do it this year, but then we just went and done it, and I thought it was the right thing, and I still think it's the right thing. But I have put quite big payments over my head for the next 5 years. 5 years we financed that, the Fusion on, which we already had quite a bit out, but I still think it was the right thing to do, and I'm happy I done it. But it's to go and make those right decisions, because if you don't have the right machine, it's down, like, you're breaking down. Breakdowns are gone very expensive to fix machine. It's very expensive to fix machinery now, and like that, we do a certain amount ourselves, most of it, as I said earlier, but there are certain things that are out of control and time-wise. Yeah, so that is a big factor. And also I find when you have people working for you, the downside to that is there's so much out of your control is to try to get good people working for you. It's dealing with them, you being able to deal with them. You have to be able to do that right, or again, it'll lead a chain reaction of just bad form and things going wrong, things going against you. You need to have the right person. Number one, you need to have someone who's interested in what they're at, because if you don't, it just gets the form down, and you might get phone calls in. Thankfully, I have been blessed with the people that have been working for us. Where I had my experience of that was where I mentioned earlier about the hopper driver in the first year just letting us down, vanishing. And I was just like, this is not simple, because it's out of your control. I don't mind working hard myself. I'll work day and night. It doesn't matter. But it's having the right person and being able to let them off, because at the baling especially, I'm never working with, and 9 times out of 10, bar the bog, I'm never working with the person that I have working for me, or the lads that are working here. So they need to be very competent, be able to work with themselves, deal with the farmers, because the last thing I want to be getting, and I have got them, is calls, just lads unhappy with work, or there might be a bit of a dispute or something done wrong or a job not done right, and can be down to bad communication. Some of it can be down to me as well, but it's just a big thing, and if it doesn't go right, it's very stressful if you don't have the right person with you. But the right lad, when you have the right lad, you will know it, and the right workers, you will most certainly know it. But yeah, that is kind of, I suppose, the downside. I finished this video now, and other things will be popping into my head. Why didn't I mention it? But the biggest thing with machinery is and financing it and buying it. Don't be making mad, rash decisions. Just going out, buying it, and at the same time, don't be afraid to go and do it, because we've quite a bit of machinery bought over the years. Nothing I'm sorry we bought. The stuff we bought and sold, like that other hopper, we bought it. I was glad we bought it. Glad we sold it. And just sometimes you need to take. There is always a bit of a chance to be taken. Like it'll never always be just clear as day. Oh, I need to go and buy this. I find there'll always be a bit of a doubt, or you might be doubting yourself when you're thinking it and processing it. But try get that right, and that will lead to a lot less stress in the long term, because it's so easy to go off, buy machinery today and get finance. And it's when you have that machine a year and you have your VAT claim back, it's when you're a year in, that is when I find the payments the toughest, because it needs to be earning its keep, because you might have a bit of money put aside for it, buying it. You get your finance, you get your VAT back, everything is great. But a year down the line, 2 years in, that is when the reality hits of owning it and it needing to be working. And you have to, you're tied to it. You can always sell machinery, but in the reality, when you're trying to make things work, you're not going to sell out. You're just going to keep going and try work hard and push on. And another big downside to what I'm at and an agricultural contractor is the seasons. We have a lot going on. We have way more machinery than what we need. There's 5 tractors here now parked in the shed. I have the 516 just pulled out because I had the diesel Bowser. 5 tractors knocking around, but which again they have built up over time, and so it's not too bad. But I'm paying payments every month on that baler, and it's going to spend the next 5 months, 6, 7 months sitting there in the shed. Mowers behind it, same way, rake, so on. Slurry tank is going to be sitting there for the next 2 months. You need different things rolling on into each other, rather than just like I could not depend on the baling just solely. No way. You'll make a wage out of it during the summer and that, and you'll pay your bills, but you need something else to fall straight into after the baling season's done, and the slurry falls into play with that. That's why we're digging. The turf came along, that's why we took that up. We had no real spring work taken on, and I'm glad we did everything we did, but it's a big challenge buying machinery and leaving some of it parked. Another example, hedge cutter, that I've actually financed on that machine as well, and that's working away. Now that's in full season, but again, it'll be parked all summer. That is the big catch, but that is the most obvious one. It's not the machinery isn't going to be working all year round, so you just have to has to fall into place, and you have to make your decisions and your choices around that to work with it and have enough so you can go from season to season to season with all the different things. And so far for us, that has worked well, but it does take quite a bit to get it all together and build up slowly. Don't just leap in and think you're going to take over the world at this job, because you're not. Most definitely not. But that's it. That is all the downsides that I can see to the contracting. I don't mean to make this a negative video, but I thought it'd be interesting for people to watch, because I have got plenty of comments in that asking me the opportunities might be there, and I'd love to go contract myself, and some of those messages I may not have got back to, but I just said I'd make just kind of a broadcast video on that. But next video, it might be the next video up, but video come very soon of the plus sides, the good sides to being an agricultural contractor in Ireland. But anyways, that's it for today's video. That's me waffled on for long enough. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments, or if there's anything you thought I left out or any topic, just ask me and I'll go through that. If it's a few topics, I'll make another video. If not, I'll get back in your comments. But thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Good luck.